It's fair to say that everyone is anxiously awaiting Season 2 for Modern Warfare, so in this video we are talking DMZ. We're talking what to expect with Season 2 with the new map, plenty of new stuff, and some new details on future bosses that could be in Season 2 or beyond. Now I'm going to be honest here, and I know a lot of you feel the same way, but Season 1 has dragged on so long. It's been over 2 months since it first came out. We've just had the unfortunate confirmation that Season 2 is going to be delayed. It was originally going to be coming out February 1st, but now it will be launching on February 15th, with the reasoning being that the studio teams have been making several changes based on what they've heard from the player community. So I can't fault them for actually listening to us for once, but it says that Season 2 is going to include all new content with the return of Resurgence and a brand new small map for Warzone 2. Ranked play is also back and coming to Modern Warfare 2, along with new multiplayer maps, modes, weapons, and much more, and to stay tuned for additional intel. What they haven't mentioned is that this new small map for Warzone 2, the Resurgence map, has been rumored to also be coming to DMZ. Now, we don't have the 100% confirmation from this Season 2 delay announcement, but in a leak about the map that's coming with Season 2 for Warzone, it also said that it will be available on DMZ. So that says it all, really, meaning we might get this map as another rotational map alongside Building 21 and Al Mazrah, which is really exciting for the mode. And we've gone over this a little bit on the channel, but if you aren't already aware, the rumors are suggesting this is going to be a fairly medium-sized map, as you would expect for a Resurgence map to be like similar to Rebirth Island in terms of its size, but this is going to have quite a few unique POIs, including Castle from Call of Duty World at War and recently remastered in Call of Duty Vanguard. There's been leaked Season 2 artwork that shows that this is going to be a Japanese theme, where we have Ronin, one of the operators from Modern Warfare 2019, and the Japanese castle in the background as one of the big POIs for this new Resurgence DMZ map. With it rumored to have about 50 to 60 players in Warzone, it's going to have a middle number between the 12 players we see on Building 21 and 60 on Al Mazrah, so probably about 30 players. One of the most exciting parts of a DMZ map that separates it from the rest is the sort of bosses and enemies that you'll come up against. And in Al Mazrah, we have two. We have the Juggernaut and we have the Chemist. Building 21 gave us Velikan and the Wilson. Thanks to a recent leak on Twitter by an account called Codsploits Images, they've revealed the names of 2 more bosses coming to DMZ. Whether they will all be in the same map or separate maps, we don't know, but these are the Pyro and the Trapper. And there is proof to these claims, as there are leaked audio quotes for both of these bosses that exist within the game files right now. Let's first talk about the Pyro, which I think is the most fascinating out of the 2 bosses that we can have in DMZ, because this is going to be a boss that has a flamethrower. It's literally in the name Pyro, and hence why you're seeing Firebreak in the thumbnail, as that's the closest thing we've seen to a flamethrower wielding operator in Call of Duty. But this is really cool. Just think about how different it's going to be trying to approach and take down this boss when they have a flamethrower, which will have a fairly decent range in order to hit you. And if the leaked audio quotes are anything to go by, this boss is also going to have some interesting environmental obstacles surrounding it, such as flammable canisters and other flammable objects, which is going to make approaching this a real nightmare. It also sounds like the boss is going to be a complete parallel to what we see with the Juggernaut and the Chemist, where they are in pretty open parts of the map, whilst the leaked audio quotes sound like the Pyro is going to be within a contained area, and he will not be alone. Like what we see with the Chemist, it is in a radiation area where every soldier that is defending him is wearing gas masks. It also sounds like we might have something similar where the Pyro is going to have an army protecting it that could all be potentially wearing this fireproof gear, and who knows, they may add some new item into DMZ so that you take less damage from fire. Imagine if you had to do a sort of mini quest where you had to find these fireproof hazard suits to wear in order to enter this area that's like on fire. How sick would that be? Now, another massive thing about the Pyro from these leaked audio quotes suggests that the Pyro is a Russian soldier. Now, this is really exciting to me in the development of Modern Warfare 2 storyline, because that we know at the end of the campaign, we have the reveal of Makarov being the new villain that Task Force 141 are tracking down, and we know that the Al-Qatala faction have joined with the ultra-nationalists, which are the Russians, combining forces for a much bigger picture. And to me, the Pyro could very well fit into that storyline as someone that is part of that team, someone directly from Makarov that's been sent into the DMZ for a reason we aren't quite sure of. Now, there's well over a minute and a half of sound quotes that exist in the game right now, which to me could mean that we could see this boss in the game sooner than later, just because there's so many quotes that already exist. Like I said, that's not the only boss, because the other boss that's leaked is called the Trapper. Now, there are very few sound quotes for this boss, but by the sounds of it, this might also be in a closed off area, as he quotes saying, "I hope you don't run into my traps on your way out." We genuinely have no idea what this could look like, which is why in the thumbnail we have this amazing custom model of a unique character who we could assume is someone that's going to trap themselves from the outside world, and it's going to be putting down a ton of mines and claymores and other things. So there's a chance whatever is going to be around the Trapper could be some really good high tier loot, seeing as they're going to be placing down a lot of traps to stop you from getting to it. We'll obviously have to wait and see exactly how these bosses play out in the future overall DMZ and the new map, but it's really exciting to see this, and I think this is exactly what DMZ needs. It just needs more encounters from other AI like this. When you think about it, the whole point of Al Mazrah's DMZ map and why you have to exfil is because the chemist's radiation leaks across all of Al Mazrah. We obviously can't have that same mechanic on every map, even though on Building 21 we do have radiation coming in, but maybe there could be a new mechanic coming to DMZ in a future map where fire burns through the entire map and you need to exfil before the whole map is engulfed in flames. But I just think that concept is really, really cool. We do know from Charlie Intel talking to the devs for Season 1 Reloaded is that they do have some plans for the future of DMZ, including day and night cycles, which I think is really exciting because we've already got evidence of a night cycle working on the DMZ map through one of the Spec Ops missions. There was also talk of dynamic weather, and if we are talking about fire raging across the whole map, that is going to be some pretty intense dynamic weather. Specifically on the topic of dynamic weather, they have said that they want to bring dynamic weather into DMZ, but it's something that is still in the works, and I would not be surprised if we didn't see that in DMZ until like Season 3 or Season 4. I will just have to wait and see. Infinity Ward have commented on the delay of Season 2, saying that they are going to be sharing a deep dive studio blog next week on Season 2, which will include exciting changes to Warzone 2, including the gulag, looting, and loadouts, and I hope that also includes more info on what's happening with DMZ. Obviously, the delay to Season 2 is a massive disappointment, but it's also one which we aren't surprised about because this was rumored a few days ago, and very weirdly, a year ago with Vanguard, Season 2 was delayed almost on the same day, but for slightly different reasons. This time around is because they want to actually make meaningful changes to the game based on the community's feedback, but last year it was the case that they needed more time to polish over Season 2 content. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section about the Season 2 delay. Whilst of course it's frustrating, it's annoying because a lot of people have said that this game feels really dead, even though it's only been out for a few months and Season 1 was only 2 months ago. But we have to look at the bright side of this. We can't get annoyed at the fact that they are taking extra time to address the concerns and issues that we have with the game in order to make it better. Because at the end of the day, we all moan and complain about Call of Duty because we want what's best for it. And in these instances where it is out of our control that these delays happen, I think that they are obviously for the better. And if it's something which is going to improve the game more so than if it launched on the first, then I'm all happy for it. I just really hope that when we do get the Season 2 news and briefings and stuff, they don't just gloss over DMZ like they did with Season 1 and Building 21. Like, it was literally like a sentence or two with one image about it. There was no real explanation about it. And I know they wanted to keep it mysterious, but at the same time, they need to big this up because that was a very big deal. And getting another map into the game is also going to be a massive deal. But if you guys enjoyed and found this video useful, please drop it a thumbs up, subscribe with the bell so you're notified on all new Call of Duty news, and I'll see you next time.